Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Margaret Baluka and today we have come with something new. So as Task Farm, we are here to help you in boosting your agriculture production. First and foremost, we want to remind you that as we prepare our gardens, as we prepare to get money or to have money or to harvest money from our gardens, there are particular things that we have to put in action before we get high products. Right now we have traveled as far as Gulu. We are in Gulu right now, and most of us who stay here in Uganda, for some of you who are watching us outside Uganda, Uganda, we have a district called Gulu, and it is a hot area. But this time as Task Farm, we have come to show you that even if your place is hot, even if the climate isn't good for vegetables, we can help you to produce the good products or the good vegetables that you can take to the market and harvest some money for yourself. Right now, I'll not talk so much. I want us to go and join Lawrence, and he'll be explaining to us how best we can get our high and quality products from agriculture.
Greetings to you all. My name is Wangechi Lawrence Masharia. I'm a project engineer working with Task Farm Uganda. Task Farm in Uganda, we are in Kabusu, Lubaga, Kampala. That's where our head office is. And we do a number of things. One of them is we do farm infrastructures as a company. We install irrigation systems, we do greenhouse systems and greenhouse structures. We install solar dryers. Solar dryers vary in different types, sizes and purpose. We also do a lot of water harvesting. We train farmers on several farming practices and so much more than that. You can come and visit us in Lubaga, you'll be able to learn more. Today, we are in Lacho Hospital, Gulu. That is St. Mary's Hospital in Lacho, Gulu, Northern Uganda. In Northern Uganda, we are managing the hospital farm that does, the farm was set aside as a nutritional program for the hospital to simply support the nutritional department of the hospital. And as Task Farm, we came in on the management basis to be able to manage the farm and to be able to produce the different kind of foods that they need at the hospital, and also to be able to teach the community around on the same in the production of, or better production of different kind of foods that they need, that they had observed that the community doesn't have. Today we are in a 4.5 acres farm located in just behind the hospital, and that's where we are doing the production that we have. Right now I'm studying in a field of cabbages. And these cabbages are not yet ready, they're still a month away. But we are going to see much more. This is just one of the crops that we have. We have a number of crops. We do cabbages, we do tomatoes, we do what we call marakwang or hibiscus, we do jute marrow, we do amaranth, we do okra, we have kales, we have sukuma wiki, we have spinach, we have biriganya, we have eggplants, and several other things. So we are going to see them shortly, so kindly hold on.
before we go to you showing us the other gardens that we have, there's someone who is watching us and they're wondering, how did you come up with such beautiful vegetables in Gulu? You know, our home is hot.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Gulu is hot, the sun is super nice.
Yes.
And well, to come up with such kind of a crop, of course, it's not a one-day's affair.
Yes.
So it requires preparation. You have to do your soil. You have to prepare your soil right.
Yes.
You have to do assessment of your soil to be able to know what don't you have in your soil, so that you can be able to apply that which you don't have. In a more basic way, the soil needs to be able to feed the crop that you've planted.
Okay.
And that's why in most cases, I'm sure you've ever heard of, we are going to buy manure or we are going to apply manure into our garden.
Yes.
Now the manure, we are going to see it later. The manure, we have organic manure from the shaft that we collect from the field, from the refuse of the vegetables that we sell here.
Yes.
And also sometimes we go and collect wood chippings from the timber yards where they do the sawmilling and all that. That. Then that we come and apply here. But we apply it because we know the state of our soil.
Do we apply when we have already put our seedlings or before?
It's better to apply the manure before planting. So you dig your garden properly. Now like here, we do our garden. We are going to see some of the freshly done gardens.
Okay.
We do prepare the garden, we just plow, and then we make them into these beds.
Okay.
Each bed carries 2 lines of, say like of the cabbages as you can see them here. The purpose for this is so that when I'm here, I can be able to easily work on either side of the bed and I don't have to step on where the vegetables are.
Okay.
So that garden will always remain, you know, soft and permeable, easily, you know, for water to pass through and all that kind of thing. And also when you are weeding, you know, you are weeding from, as in you don't have to worry, oh, I'm stepping on the cabbage and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Now, after you have applied the manure, then in this case, because this place is super hot,
yeah,
we lay the irrigation system.
People who are watching us, it's so hot. It's so hot here, yeah.
It's African hot. It's good.
Yeah.
Now, we lay the drip lines. We are going to also see some of the freshly laid drip lines.
Yes.
Now, the drip lines help us to supply the water into the garden. Then we come planting our transplanting the seedlings from the nursery. I'm sure we'll be able to see what we have in the nursery.
Yes, yes.
You transplant from the nursery into the field, following the pre-perforated holes on our drip lines.
Okay.
So these drip lines come with emitters at 30 centimeter spacing.
Okay.
Well, as per this crop. So you go following the emitter.
So what you're trying to say is different crops, different meters?
Yes. Sometimes you find, for example, if you're doing cucumber, you can do it at the same spacing as the cabbages. So they may need a different irrigation spacing or those emitters that emit the water at different intervals.
Yes.
But this particular case here, we are talking of 30 centimeters.
Okay.
So you now follow those emitters and you go planting where the emitter is. That's where you plant your cabbage. Remember, you have already put the manure, you've already set the irrigation system, then you plant your cabbage. Okay. From there, it's crop care.
Lawrence, why Lacho Hospital?
Oh.
Why Lacho?
Well, I can say lab.
Because we have a lot of hospitals.
Oh yes.
We have a lot of hospitals, and how come you chose Lacho?
I think it's a two-way thing. First of all, I want to say the reason why we're here is because we love what we do. Okay. That's number one. As Task Farm, you know, getting something that is going to have an impact not only on an individual customer, but in a whole society, a whole group. For example, now here we are talking of the hospital. The hospital has more than 3,000 people in there who, on a daily basis, eat from our garden. We have patients there who eat from here. We have patient caregivers. For example, the cancer caregivers. They come here on a daily basis. Some, they help us to take care of the garden. And at the end of the day, they go home with fresh vegetables, which they need at the hospital. Okay. So that is number one. Number two, we had a conversation with the management, and
The management of the hospital.
yes,
Okay.
and they gave us their passion. We understand them because this is what we do, and their willingness to give us the opportunity to be able to feed them. So we came up with an understanding of our own, which we did and which we are implementing, with a mandate to, number one, provide them with the nutrition that they need, or the food that they need in the hospital.
Since this is a hot place, we may not find some of the vegetables in the market.
Yes, and
Yeah.
actually they are not easy to find. Because, for example, during the dry season, like you can see, it's very hard to find a cabbage growing out there. But here you come any day, you find something that you can be able to.
And organic.
And it's organic. I mean, you cannot give, again, sick people more toxin. You're not helping them, you're killing them.
You're killing
So you have to be very careful what you give them.
Okay.
So our mandate was, one, to give them that nutritional need that they need, that the hospital needs.
Yes.
Then to be able to train these caregivers on how to grow these things so that when they leave the hospital, they can be able to take care of these patients themselves. Then we also have now, of course, the community surrounding Lasho Hospital. So we also have to teach them, and also they can be able to come and buy the vegetables from here. Yeah, from a centralized place and also a regulated production place.
So if someone wants such an offer, do you give out such offers to?
Come to Task Farm,
Okay.
we shall talk about it.
Okay. Just like I told you, we're in Gulu. It's very hot, but things around me, I'm enjoying the environment. I'm not even minding about the heat. I'm not even minding about the sun. Okay, right now, briefly, I want us to go and look at how are you supposed to manage your nursery. Because if you want good yields, it starts with the nursery. Actually, it starts with the seed. After the seed, the nursery is very, very important. So here, meet Madame Joyce. She's going to teach you how to manage your nursery well to get such beautiful products. Then after Joyce, we are going to continue with the different stages of our cabbages. Task Farm has been here for only 3 months. But in those 3 months, they've been able to have at least 3 categories or stages of the cabbages and other vegetables. So I want us to go and look at, after the nursery, I want us to go and look at the cabbages that we already harvesting. Let's come back.
By the name's Joyce Nabirye. I work with Task Farm Uganda as an administrator. We do different things at Task Farm Uganda, and among them is the nursery management, where we raise seeds to seedlings before they are transplanted to the main garden. Today we are going to look at how we plant a tomato from the time we plant it in the nursery, how we look after it until it matures to go to the garden. Today, the type of tomato that we are going to look at is called Anso. But before you plant any seed, you have to ensure that check the packaging date. When you go to buy that seed, ensure that its packaging date is up to date. It must not be more than 6 months from the time it was packaged. This is because if a seed was packed more than 6 months ago, its germinability is poor. And if the germinability is poor, likewise, its performance in the main garden will be poor. So before you purchase any seed, please check the packaging date. And I repeat, make sure it's not more than 6 months ago that it was packaged. So we have different items that we use for our nursery. One of them is the tray. This is a seedling tray. We have them in different sizes. The one I'm using today has 288 pots. That means it carries 288 seeds. And if they all germinate, if I get 100% germination, I'll have 288 seedlings. Second, we have what we call the planting medium, which is the peat moss. This is a soilless growing medium that we use in our nursery. It's very good in that if the seed is okay, you are assured of 99% germination. This medium is very good. It only allows or it retains a particular amount of water that the seed requires. The excess, it releases it out. So that is why we use it, and it's very good, as we shall see ahead. So I've talked about the seedling tray, I've talked about the planting medium, and I've talked about the seed. These are the three things that we need for our nursery. So we get the planting medium. We put it on the tray, as you see. After that, we make a small press or depression on the medium that we put on the trays. This we do it to create allowance where we are going to put the seed. After that, we get our seed, whichever seed it may be. These are seeds of tomatoes. So we go on putting or placing one seed in each pot. One seed in each pot. When they fall too, you have to remove the other, because if you leave them there, it will be a wastage. They cannot grow from that same pot. And once we are done with putting them in those pots, we get this very growing medium and cover. You put a small layer such that when we go for the watering process, the water can easily go through and reach the seed. We don't need to put a heap of the planting medium while we are covering the seed. We just need to cover it with some little planting medium, then we'll go for the watering process. After covering the seed, we bring it to where we do the watering from. This is the nursery section now. When we get here, we start watering it. Because for the seed to germinate, we require sunlight, we require water, and then warmth. So this is one of the ingredients that we require for the plant, for the seed to germinate into a seedling. So we water them properly, ensuring that the water goes up to the seed, because if the seed doesn't get water, the seed will not germinate. Instead, it will rot. So we water them properly every day, over and over again, as we wait for them to germinate. These are seedlings of tomatoes that have germinated. When they germinate at this stage, we reduce the amount of water that we give them, because now they have come out. Now they just need a little water to help them grow. So we continue watering them, but with reduced amount of water as they continue growing. Like you see, there are a variety of vegetables in here. All these have germinated. So we watch these babies until a level where they have reached and they are mature enough to be taken to the garden. I'm taking you to another set of tomato that has germinated and has been growing for like a week. This is it. It has been out for like a week. So after this, I expect it to be in the nursery for 2 weeks. That is now 3 weeks after planting. After that, it will be ready to be transplanted or to be taken to the garden. Right now, I may not have a tomato that is ready for transplanting, but I can use another plant. This is Skuma wiki. This skuma is ready to be taken to the garden. Actually, this one will be transplanted within 2 or 3 days. It will be taken to the main garden. And that is what we do with the nursery section. In here we have a variety of vegetables that we grow or that we raise. After raising them and taking care of them for between 3, a maximum of 5 weeks, that is for the sweet peppers, then they'll be taken to the garden. But before, when we go to the main garden, how do we pick them from these trays? Because these are trays we shall not plant in the main garden when they're in these trays. We have to remove the seedling and then plant it in the garden. So when we are transplanting, we press below the tray to get out the seedling. This seedling comes out with all its roots intact. This is better than our ordinary method of where we would make the nursery on the ground or in the soil. And when time comes for transplanting it, we cut or dig them out, and in that process we do affect the roots. But with this method, the seedling comes out intact with its roots, in that when you take it to the garden, it doesn't receive the shock, or the roots are not damaged. Once you transplant it, give it water, it just continues with its growth.
Okay, you are welcome back. Now, we came here on May the 1st, and the cabbages that we planted were these ones here. Now, these cabbages, of course, after 3 months, we are harvesting and selling. In fact, most of them we have already harvested and sold. And this was the first crop of cabbages that we have been able to sell from this farm since we came to this place. Now, I'm very sure on my signs you can be able to see the maize. The maize mainly is a border crop. That's why we have the maize on the borders. This maize is simply to be able to separate, say, the cabbages from the tomatoes, which are on the other side. We are going to have a look at them later. And then to be able to also separate from the kales, which is on the upper side. Now, these cabbages here, we've already been harvesting. We are going to see another cabbage, which again, we are going to start harvesting, towards the end of this week. We're going to start harvesting. And now that was the second crop that we planted after this crop. Then the third crop, we are going to see it again, is in block 2. where we are going to have another crop which we'll be harvesting in a month's time. We have another crop of cabbage in block 16. So as you can see, when we are talking about crop production, it's not just a matter of planting the cabbages and they grow and you sell. No. It's the sustainability of the same. How do we make sure that the person who has been eating the cabbage can be able to get his cabbages throughout? So you must have a crop that you're harvesting today, a crop that you'll harvest tomorrow, and the crop that you'll harvest after that day. So that's why we are here, to make sure that this production does not stop. Let's go to another crop, to another cabbage, and then you see how it looks now at this stage. This one we have already harvested. We are just doing the final touches on harvesting and selling. But let's go and look at the one that we are going to harvest starting the end of this week. Thank you. Yes, now this was our second crop. You've just seen what we have been harvesting. This is now what we are going to start harvesting this week. And as you can see things, the cabbages are ready. So simply, this is what we were saying, that you need to have what you can be able to give out this week, then the following week, then the other week. It's that consistency that makes a farm a farm. Now, like you can see here, now these cabbages, yes, they are mature, yes, but they just need to a little time just to be a little bit harder. Just the hardening bit is all what we are looking at. So, but as you can see them, now the cabbages are actually available. So this now was the second crop that we planted. And as I explained, the reason why you have this maize on the sides is simply to be able to prevent these cabbages from the crop that is on the other side. So in case we have any chemical that we are applying on the other side, it doesn't spill over into these cabbages that we are selling today or at that particular time when we are selling it. So that's the reason why we have these crops on the boundary lines. We call them border crops. This is the cabbage that I was talking about. This is the cabbage that we are going to eat today. Thank you. Let's go and see some other crops.
Welcome to Farming the Future and Agriculture as well. Margaret Baluka is my name, and today we have decided to visit the commissioner in charge of communication, and we are in Entebbe. We have found out that a lot of farmers, they are doing their job very well, but they don't know the policies and some of the things and some of the privileges that they are missing out on, the privileges that the ministry give, that they are missing out. So right now I'm just seated next to the person in charge of communications in the Ministry of Agriculture, Madam Connie. So she's going to be taking us through some of the things that you're missing out on the Ministry of Agriculture. Farmers are complaining, but they don't know exactly to find the right information. On this show, you'll not leave the same. Please, don't miss out. We are coming back with Madam Connie. Yes, Madam Connie, you're most welcome on Rest TV. You're live on Rest TV. My name is Margaret Baluka, and I'm the presenter of Agriculture Show, Farming the Future, and we believe that agriculture is wealth. So I have been visiting many farmers, and they have presented to me some of their challenges, and some of them I couldn't handle them because I was a bit not sure of what the right answers. So here we are. I had to look for the right person to answer those questions. But before we dive into the questions, I'm requesting briefly introduce yourself to my farmers and the viewers of Rest TV.
Thank you very much, Margaret. It's good to meet you. I'm happy to be with Rest TV.
Yes.
I'm Consolata Chayo.
I'm Assistant Commissioner in charge of Information and Communication in the ministry. And it's really a pleasure that at least for once somebody has come in to try and look for information about
Thank you.
the sector to the farmers. Because farmers are our farmers. And the ministry is here because of them. Probably what I can do is to try and give you a little overview of what the ministry is all about,
Yes.
of how the structure of the ministry is. So much as we need, the farmers need to know us very well, we also need to know how can they come to the ministry. Which route should they use to make sure they get to the ministry to find what they want? I will briefly give you a brief outline. The Ministry of Agriculture is a big ministry.
Yes.
And you know well that agriculture is the backbone of our economy.
Exactly.
I don't know why it took you so long to come today, waiting all this while.
Yes.
But I'm happy that there's always the beginning.
Yes.
So thank you for coming to Ministry of Agriculture. The sector, the agriculture sector is headed by the minister. And we have the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. That is none other than Honorable Frank Tumwebaze.
Tumwebaze, yes.
Now, Honorable Frank is working with 3 other ministries. As the name goes, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries.
Yeah.
So we have 3 other ministers working with the senior minister. So we have the Minister of State for Agriculture. He's in charge of agriculture, the crop. Then we have a Minister of State. This is Honorable Guino, Fred. We have then a Minister of Animal Industry, Minister of State for Animal Industry.
Yes.
And this is none other than Honorable Retired Colonel Dr. Bright Ramirama.
Okay.
Then we have the third in charge of fisheries, and this is none other than Honorable Helen Adoa. So these are the 4 ministers we have in the Ministry of Agriculture. So that is at the top, at political level.
Okay.
Then when we move to technical level, the technical head is the permanent secretary. And our permanent secretary is Major General Kasura Chomukama. The permanent secretary is in charge of the overall technical Ministry of Agriculture activity. And under him, there are a number of departments. Then we move to divisions and units and the rest. The ministry has about 20 departments currently. Currently. We do not have directorates because directorate has been abolished.
I'm requesting, before we go to that part, help me and differentiate these 2 parts for my farmers, the political and the technical departments, those 2, so that they can get it clear.
Political heads, thank you, Margaret. Political heads are appointed. The ministers come in, they come and go. We have seen so many ministers coming in. Today they'll say you're a minister, you work for a whatever period of time. Then they'll say, okay, tomorrow another minister comes in.
Okay.
Ministers are political heads, all appointed by the President of the Republic of Uganda.
Okay.
Then we have technical people. The technical people are the people who have done specific work that relates to agriculture. For example, we have animal crop. When we are talking of agriculture, we have commissioners for crop production.
Yes.
We have commissioners for crop inspection. We have commissioner for crop inspection. There's inspection and protection, then production.
Yes.
These are 3 in crop.
Okay.
Then we have a commissioner for coffee. We have a commissioner for
cotton.
For
Coffee, cotton.
Yes, we have a commissioner for cotton. Now this is in the area of crop. Then when you move to the area of fisheries, for example,
yes,
we have the commissioner in charge of fisheries,
yes,
and aquaculture.
And agriculture.
Then we have aquaculture, which is also under fisheries,
yes,
department. Then we have the commissioner in charge of aquaculture development, and in fisheries, in fisheries alone we have 3 commissioners. Then you cross off and you go to animal. All these are technical people. Technical means they have studied these issues. So if you have issues in fish,
We have
then the person
specific.
from fish comes and addresses your issue.
Okay.
If you have a problem in crop, depending on what problem it is, the crop person comes and addresses that issue. If you have issues in livestock, then we have technical people in livestock. They come and
Okay.
address those issues.
Okay.
So those are the technical people who are headed by the permanent secretary.
Oh.
And each of these are in a department. And every department is headed by a commissioner.
Okay.
So we have about 20 departments, and that means we have about 20
20
commissioners.
commissioners.
Yes. So that is how it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope that bit is clear.
Yes.
Thank
At
you.
least that one you've tried to elaborate.
Thank you.
Yes.
So when our farmers are complaining of what is happening in the ministry, we also have another department which I did mention, planning department. It helps us to do planning. When the technical departments want to come up with the policies, for example, now we have a policy on the National Agriculture Policy. The National Agriculture Policy is for overall general agriculture policy. Planning departments come in to help the technical department to develop the policy. These are policies that guide farmers on what they need to do in agriculture.
Okay.
And this is probably where we needed to come in. And I will apologize to the farmers that we have probably not come in early enough. Because we should have toned down this policy. What is it, for example, that a farmer needs to understand on agriculture policy?
Yes.
We have the organic policy. What about organic policy?
What is it all about?
We have the aquaculture policy. What is it about this aquaculture policy?
Yes.
So there are a number of policies that have been developed by this ministry. And this policy is not meant for the ministry. It is meant for our farmers outside.
Yes.
So as a ministry, we needed to have like popular version. We needed to come to your radio or TV stations and talk to the farmers, explaining to them what are these policies are all about.
Yeah.
How can they benefit from all these
them.
policies that we have?
Yes.
What is the ministry all about? So I'm happy today that you've had opportunity to come to the ministry.
We had
And
to look
I'm also
for you.
happy to tell our farmers and viewers outside there that we are here for them. We are not here for ourselves. And I will apologize that we have not gone to them sooner. But we have an open door policy. To those who come and need help, we are open to that, for that help.
Yes.
We need more of the radios and the TVs so that we can talk to our farmers and explain to them the importance of these policies. Why do we need the policies? To provide guidance, to protect our farmers. But how can our farmers be protected? So I believe that it's a matter of time we should be able to look through each of these policies one by one and see how we can break them down for our farmers to understand, and see where they can benefit from each of them.
Yes.
So many times I know that farmers make mistakes probably because they don't know how they are supposed to have done it right. Maybe through, to be guided through the policies and the other legal instruments that are there.
So thank you so much. I took you a bit off about what you're explaining. Now we had reached the point of the departments. I want you to dig a bit in on these departments, because when I go on our website as Minister of Agriculture, I see there are a lot of changes that I've made that are not yet changed on the website. You see that when you look at Minister of Agriculture, you find that we had the directories and then the departments. So I want you to clear about those changes.
Thank you, Margaret. A number of changes have actually taken place. Directorates have been abolished in ministries.
Okay.
So now we've been going through what they call the merger.
Yeah.
And agencies have also been put off.
Oh,
For example, agriculture had 7 agencies. I know you're all aware about the NADS.
yes.
You are aware about Coffee Development
Coffee
Authority.
Development Authority.
You are aware about Cotton Development
Cotton
Authority,
Development Authority.
Dairy Development Authority,
Yes.
COCTO, and we have NARO and we have NAGRIC.
Yes.
So out of all the 7 that we had,
Mm.
5 of them have been merged in the ministry.
Okay.
Those staff were not chased away. The staff were brought in the ministry so that the services they were providing can continue. The same people can continue providing the services
Yes.
to our farmers.
Yes.
So we have not pushed anybody away. We have instead brought them in to see how we can continue with the services that they were providing.
Yes.
And it will continue doing better. I know that sometimes back some farmers from the coffee complain and the rest, but I want to give them assurance that we have coffee, Department of Coffee Development, coffee,
Authority.
Department of Coffee Development.
Authority.
Then we have a department for cotton. We have the department for dairy. We have the department for each of these.
So now coffee is not it's not an authority now.
It's not an authority.
Okay.
We are left with only 2 authority out of the 7.
Yes.
We have the National Genetic Resource Center,
Yes.
which is the NAGRIC,
NAGRIC.
and we have the National Agricultural Research Organization, which is NARO.
Yes.
These are the 2 agencies that have remained for the ministry, standing alone.
2.
2
Yes.
out of 7.
Okay.
What we have currently is each of those that came back, most of them were embedded into a department to ensure continuity.
Yes.
So I don't want to lay anybody's fear.
And
The services will continue because the people are still
because I believe so much that some farmers that have been benefiting from these the directorates and some of their services. So they shouldn't worry that they have put them away, but they are working together under the ministry.
Margaret, you know, even when the directorates have been abolished, to me I would say it has been abolished by name. Because under each department that we had within the ministry,
Yes.
First of all, we had 4 directorates. We had the Directorate for Crop Resources,
Yes.
Directorate of Animal Resources,
Yes.
Directorate of Fisheries Resources, and Directorate of Extension Services.
Yeah.
So this directorate, each of them had 2 or 3 departments under them. All the departments have remained. It's only the directorates, the directors,
Yes.
that are now off. But the commissioners who are in charge of these departments have remained. So the services remains. If we take, for example, crop resources, there were 3 departments under crop. Production, crop protection, crop inspection and certification.
Yes.
So all these 3 people are there. That means all the 3 services are available.
They are still available.
They are available. And they are providing the services as they are supposed to.
Okay.
There has been no change.
Okay.
Maybe even better.
Maybe they are functioning better than the previous
Probably it's even
positions.
better.
Yeah.
But they are still there. The
Okay.
staffing is there. They have even boosted up, brought in more departments. We had about 15, now I think we are about 20 more departments. So the services in the ministry has been empowered and strengthened. And I think we'll continue providing these services as required by our farmers. Extension services, where we are sitting here, for example. This was a directorate, but now we have 3 departments under this directorate.
Okay.
And they'll continue providing the services that is required.
Okay.
I think this is one of the most important departments that the farmers actually need to link up strongly with. Earlier on, you were asking how the ministry can, the farmers can come to the ministry.
Yes. How can
We
they
have-
connect with the ministry?
We have 146 districts. That means we need to work with 146 districts. The ministry alone cannot do everything in all the districts that are available.
Yeah.
So we have a department of agriculture which is called the production department in the district local government. The production department is headed by the district production and marketing officer,
Okay.
who is directly linking with us here in Extension. And that is our link, especially to the district local government, because that is the agriculture at district local government.
Yes.
So anything that is required, that department, they have extension officers, they have staff. They may be understaffed, but that is the staff they have, that from day to day, they have interactions with the farmers.
Okay.
We probably could have had gaps, but I think we are strengthening that gap. We cannot say we need to work with farmers on day-to-day basis because it's practically not possible.
Not possible.
Yes. We work through the Ministry of Local Government, the Department of Agriculture in the local government. So those are our eyes in the local government.
Yeah. Actually, my next point was, I find that when it comes to extension workers, as ministry, I see we have small numbers of extension workers you've given our farmers. So you find that the information from the Ministry of Agriculture is not coming direct to our farmers because of this small number of extension workers on every district.
You couldn't have said it better, Margaret. That is true. For a while, recruitment was stopped.
Okay.
This Directorate of Extension came to being in 2014-15. Previously, we had NADS handling extension services through the country.
Yeah.
But 15, 16, then the government gave a pronouncement that extension services should come back to the ministry.
To the ministry.
Another time, then they created the Directorate of Agriculture Extension Services.
Yes.
And for the first time, that extension services came into being.
Okay.
And as soon as the directorate came into being, the directorate developed the policy on National Agriculture Extension Services, the first ever of a kind, to provide guidance on how we can work with the district local government. At the time, we also thought that there were many other private sector players in extension services. So when the extension services came into being, the whole idea was that we need to bring on board the private sector players because they are also providing extension services.
Yes.
And see how we can work together with them.
Hand in hand.
Because the government staffing alone, we are few. We needed to do then to recruit staffing to see how the gaps could be filled. And indeed, at the time we did recruitment twice, 1 year after the other. But the first year when recruitment did take place, I must say that much as agriculture is supposed to be the backbone of the economy, at the time, most districts didn't see it as the backbone of each of those districts of the economy. To bring on board the staffing to fill up the gap, we lost badly in the first year of our recruitment. Okay. And the recruitment went on for about, I think it was only about 25% of the staff in production that was recruited. Others thought, I think we need doctors, and they recruited doctors. Others said maybe teachers, and they recruited teachers. So our money got lost in the district local government recruitment.
Okay.
But we don't blame the districts much, probably because then we did not recruit, we did not orient them well to what was taking place. So the following year, we did good orientation, bringing on board all the district leadership, and we informed them of what was taking place. So the following year, the recruitment was better.
Okay.
But we were only able to recruit massively for 2 years. After that, we were requested to facilitate them with the equipments and machineries. So they were provided with the motor vehicles and motorcycles. I think at a time the ministry was able to buy more than 114 motor vehicles to almost all the district local government at the time. And there were over 1,000 motorcycles that were provided.
Okay.
And we were happy and thought we could move like that at least for about 3 years to make sure that every extension worker will have at least a motorcycle and all their heads would have a vehicle to support agriculture production. Somehow, you know, government priorities and all that, it didn't take shape. So we are filling the gap slowly by slowly. So we have a wide gap. I ever note that every year we have a district. A new district is created.
Yes.
So each time we have a new district, that means we need new administrative units within the district.
Yes.
That means we need more staffing.
Okay.
So for a while we've not been recruiting.
Yeah.
So indeed the gap is wide. The gap is so wide that we have a ratio of 1 extension officer to look at over 1,800 households. And that gap is so wide.
So wide.
So wide that if we give them opportunity to do that, it will take them more than 3-4 years to be able to visit at least each of these farmers once in 3-4 years. And that will not
And
add
yet
value.
the challenges are always there.
Thank you very much.
Even after this visit, there's another challenge that will come. So they will need...
So as a ministry, we have been advocating for farmers to get themselves into groups, into associations, into cooperatives. Once they're in farmer groups or association or cooperatives, it is easier for our staff, the extension workers, to talk to them, to disseminate what the information they need. So this indeed has been some of the challenges that the ministry has been going through.
Okay.
But I know it is a matter of time we shall overcome some of this.
Amen.
Because today we are in a technological era.
Yes.
Technology is improving. Almost every household has got a phone, I believe.
Yeah,
They
a
are able to
TV
listen
station.
to radio.
A TV set, not a TV
Thank
station,
you.
but a TV
The
set.
TV sets.
Yeah.
And phone, a handset of a phone. Everybody has a phone.
Yeah. And they
So-
have the network is now clear.
So if we can work more with the media houses,
Yes.
if we can work more on the social media, if we can work more on radio, TVs, and the other avenues, I definitely believe that we'll be able to get to the farmers actually better.
Okay.
So this is a good beginning. I'm happy that you people found time to come and visit the ministry. And I want to assure you that the ministry as a ministry has a lot. We have all these commissioners I've been telling you about. We need to get each one of them to talk to the farmers, to explain to them what they need to do. And I know that our farmers have questions to ask.
Yes.
We shall give you the answers when the time comes.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner. So we are very privileged to host you today, and you have really helped the farmers with that information. Some thought they should come direct to the ministry for information, not knowing that some things are being handled by the extension workers we have at our district level. So right now we shall end our program here, and next time we shall start from there with the commission, because she has decided to give us all the time so that he can clear and help our farmers to benefit better from the ministry. See you next time. Bye-bye.